Place a clove of garlic in this corner of your home and attract a lot of money, friends. Before we speak of garlic or corners or money, let us pause. Let us breathe, because wealth does not arrive in a noisy way, it comes quietly, the same way understanding does. Many people believe money is attracted by force, by struggle, by fear, by endless chasing, but nothing that is chased ever feels at peace when it arrives. Now imagine a simple clove of garlic, small, ordinary, yet it carries strength, protection, and balance within it. When you place a clove of garlic in a corner of your home, you are not performing magic. You are making a statement to the universe and, more importantly, to yourself. You are saying, I choose clarity over chaos. I choose awareness over neglect. I choose intention over accident. Corners are forgotten spaces. Energy settles there, dust gathers where attention does not go. When you place something with purpose in a forgotten corner, you awaken that space. And when a space awakens, the mind awakens with it. Garlic has long been known to absorb what is heavy and repel what is harmful. Not just in the air, but in habits, in thoughts, in unconscious patterns. When the home becomes lighter, the mind becomes lighter. And when the mind becomes lighter, decisions become wiser. Money does not follow desperation. Money follows order. Money follows respect. Money follows a mind that is calm enough to see opportunity without fear. Do not stare at the garlic and wait for riches. Place it gently. Then clean the corner. Then clean your thoughts. Ask yourself, where am I wasting energy? Where am I holding fear? Where am I blocking flow by holding too tightly? As garlic slowly dries, it teaches impermanence. As it stands quietly, it teaches patience. As it protects without announcing itself, it teaches humility. Wealth that lasts is quiet. It enters like a guest, not like a thief. So if money begins to come into your life after this act, do not thank the garlic. Thank the moment you chose awareness over neglect. Because the real corner you changed was not in your home, it was in your mind. And when the mind is in harmony, even the smallest intention can open the door to abundance. Wealth begins with awareness. Not chasing money is attracted by calm intention and clarity, not desperation or force. Wealth does not begin in the hands, it begins in the mind. Most people believe money must be chased, hunted down with endless effort, worry, and pressure. They wake up already tired, thinking of what they lack, calculating what they fear losing, running after what they believe will finally make them feel secure. But a mind that is always running cannot see clearly. And what cannot be seen clearly is often missed even when it stands right in front of us. Awareness is different from chasing. Chasing comes from fear of not having enough, of being left behind, of not being valued. Awareness comes from stillness. It is the quiet ability to observe life without panic. When the mind is calm, it notices patterns. It sees where energy leaks away through careless habits, unnecessary spending, ungrateful thoughts, or constant comparison. A restless mind spends money the same way it spends attention without intention. Money responds to the state of the one who receives it. When a person is desperate, every decision is rushed. Opportunities are taken too quickly or rejected too quickly. There is no patience, no discernment. But when awareness is present, choices slow down. One listens more. One waits when waiting is wise and acts when action is needed. This balance creates stability, and stability is fertile ground for prosperity. Awareness also changes the relationship with money itself. Instead of seeing it as something to grab or cling to, it is seen as a form of energy that moves. It comes when conditions are right and leaves when lessons are ignored. When a person is aware, they respect money. They know where it comes from, where it goes, and why. They stop blaming the world for lack and start understanding their own patterns. This understanding alone can change financial destiny. Chasing money often pushes it away because it creates tension. Tension narrows vision. It makes the future feel like a threat instead of a possibility. Awareness, on the other hand, relaxes the grip. It allows gratitude to arise for what already exists, and gratitude quietly multiplies resources. A grateful mind is not distracted by envy. It uses what it has wisely, and wisdom naturally attracts more. When awareness grows, so does responsibility. One becomes careful with words, actions, and intentions. Waste reduces. Clutter clears. Even small change, keeping spaces clean, finishing what is started, honoring commitment, send a message to life this person is ready to receive. Money flows toward order, not confusion. It feels safe where there is clarity. True wealth is not loud. It does not announce itself with anxiety. It grows steadily, supported by clear thought and conscious action. Awareness teaches that there is no need to rush abundance. What is meant to arrive will come at the right moment, provided the mind is open enough to recognize it. In this way, awareness becomes the silent invitation. It tells the world that the door is open, the space is prepared, and the mind is ready. And when money comes through that door, it does not disturb peace, it supports it. The garlic is a symbol of intention and protection. Placing it is not magic, it represents choosing balance, order, and mindful living. The clove of garlic that you place in a corner of your home is not just a physical object. It is a symbol of your intention, a quiet expression of your focus and mindfulness. In our lives, we often overlook the power of small actions. We wait for grand gestures or dramatic changes, thinking that only great effort can bring great results. Yet the universe or life itself often responds to subtle signals. A simple act done with awareness and care can ripple outward in ways that are profound and lasting. The garlic, humble and ordinary, carries this principle within it. It is a vessel of purpose, reminding us that intention, not size or complexity, determines the energy we attract. When we place a clove of garlic in a corner, we are making a deliberate choice to bring attention to a space that is often ignored. Corners gather stillness, quiet energy, and sometimes stagnation. They are places where dust settles, where activity slows, and where unnoticed patterns linger. By placing an object of intention there, we are telling ourselves and the environment that we are mindful of all parts of our life, even those that are hidden or forgotten. This small act becomes a practice of consciousness, training the mind to recognize that nothing in our surroundings is insignificant. Garlic itself has qualities that have been valued across generations. It is known to purify, to protect, and to absorb what is heavy or negative. In the same way, placing it in your home is a reminder to cleanse not just the space but also the mind. It signals the letting go of habits, thoughts, and emotions that no longer serve growth. When we are willing to confront what is stagnant and replace it with conscious intention, we open the channels for flow. This flow can manifest as clarity in thought, improvement in relationships, and yes, the arrival of opportunities and wealth. The significance of this act is also in its patience. Wealth and abundance do not appear instantly. They emerge over time, guided by consistent awareness and quiet preparation. The garlic does not shout or demand. It simply exists, holding the space with its presence. It teaches a lesson about the subtlety of influence and the importance of persistence in intention. The small and ordinary, when treated with mindfulness, can have extraordinary effects. Moreover, placing the garlic transforms the corner into a sacred space, a point of focus where you can reflect and observe your own energy. It becomes a reminder that the mind and environment are deeply connected. When the surroundings are treated with care and consciousness, the inner world mirrors that harmony. The choices we make become more intentional, our actions more aligned, and our awareness of opportunities sharper. In this way, the garlic acts as a bridge between intention and manifestation, between mindful action and the natural unfolding of abundance. Ultimately, the garlic is not a charm to control external outcomes. It is a tool of self-awareness, a teacher of subtle influence, and a symbol of the understanding that wealth follows clarity, care, and intention. By embracing this small act, we cultivate the inner conditions that allow abundance to enter gently, naturally. Corners hold neglected energy. When we bring awareness to forgotten spaces, we awaken both the home and the mind. Corners of a home are often overlooked, hidden spaces where life's energy can gather, either harmoniously or stagnantly. Most people do not consider the importance of these areas. They are swept over in routine cleaning, forgotten behind furniture, or ignored altogether. Yet these corners, though small and seemingly insignificant, hold a quiet influence over the flow of energy within the home. Energy, like water, seeks channels to move. When corners are neglected, energy pools there, becoming stagnant and heavy. Stagnation can manifest in many subtle ways: restlessness in the mind, indecision in daily life, missed opportunities, or an overall sense of tension that cannot easily be explained. By attending to these spaces, we are not merely organizing a room, we are guiding the flow of energy to support balance and harmony. Placing a clove of garlic in a corner is a symbolic act of bringing attention and intention to these hidden areas. Garlic has long been recognized as an element of protection, purification, and absorption. When placed in a neglected corner, it represents the active transformation of that space. It becomes a reminder that awareness has a role in every part of our surroundings, not just the spaces we occupy consciously. As the garlic rests quietly in the corner, it functions as a point of mindfulness, urging the observer to notice, to honor, and to respect the energy that lingers where they might not typically pay attention. This small mindful action encourages a deeper awareness of how neglected spaces can influence overall well-being. The connection between the home and the mind is subtle but profound. A cluttered, dark, or stagnant corner can reflect inner patterns of neglect or distraction. Just as energy stagnates in an untouched corner, thoughts that are ignored or unresolved settle in the mind, creating unseen weight. By consciously placing something with intention in that corner, the individual is indirectly addressing the mind as well. The act signals an acknowledgement of what has been overlooked and a commitment to fostering positive energy both in the environment and internally. This is not a matter of superstition, it is a practice of alignment, demonstrating that outer care often inspires inner balance. Furthermore, attention to corners fosters patience and subtle observation. The garlic does not instantly shift energy or attract wealth in a dramatic way. Its influence is quiet and gradual, much like the cultivation of wisdom. As days pass, one may notice subtle shifts, feelings of clarity, increased mindfulness, or opportunities arising in ways that previously went unnoticed. The The corner becomes a point of observation, a subtle teacher of the principle that consistent care and awareness create conditions for growth and prosperity. Ultimately, attending to corners teaches the principle of attentiveness in all areas of life. By honoring neglected spaces, we cultivate a habit of mindfulness, recognizing that even the smallest or most hidden parts of life contribute to overall harmony. Energy that flows freely in every corner of the home mirrors the clarity, balance, and receptiveness in the mind. When awareness guides action, even simple objects like a clove of garlic can become powerful tools in nurturing a life of abundance and wisdom. The lesson is simple yet profound. What we choose to notice, honor, and care for, even in small ways, shapes the flow of energy and the opportunities we attract. A lighter mind creates wiser decisions, clearing heavy thoughts and habits allows opportunities for wealth to appear naturally. A mind that is light and clear is like a room filled with sunlight. When thoughts are cluttered, restless, or heavy, decisions become clouded and opportunities pass unnoticed. The clutter of the mind often mirrors the clutter of our environment, and the spaces we inhabit silently influence our state of awareness. When energy is blocked in a home, it subtly blocks clarity and focus in the mind. The corners of a house are particularly telling because they are often neglected, ignored, or left in shadow. These spaces, though small and seemingly insignificant, hold a reflection of the attention we give or fail to give to life itself. By consciously choosing to engage with these corners, we are simultaneously engaging with our own patterns, thoughts, and habits. Placing a clove of garlic in a corner of the home is not simply an act of tradition, it is a mindful gesture of awareness and protection. Garlic in its simplicity carries symbolic meaning. It absorbs what is heavy, it guards against what is harmful, and it brings presence to areas that would otherwise remain stagnant. The act of placing it transforms a neglected space into a point of consciousness. This transformation is not about magic or instant reward. It is about creating an environment that mirrors clarity, order, and attentiveness. When the home is treated with care, the mind naturally becomes lighter. When the mind is lighter, it can perceive opportunities with greater discernment and respond to them with wisdom. The clarity that arises from tending to one's surroundings extends into decisions regarding resources, actions, and relationships. When the mind is heavy with distraction or negative thought patterns, even favorable circumstances can be overlooked or mismanaged. Money, opportunity, and growth do not flow toward chaos, they flow toward harmony and readiness. By attending to the home and infusing it with intention, one is training the mind to recognize what is valuable, what is beneficial, and what supports a state of balance. The simple placement of a clove of garlic becomes a practice of reflection, teaching that inner and outer environments are interconnected. Patience is also cultivated through this practice. The garlic does not change the energy of a space instantly, its presence is subtle, constant, and quiet. Similarly, the benefits of awareness unfold gradually, revealing themselves as clarity, focus, and receptivity increase over time. By observing the corner and noting changes in energy or perception, one learns the value of steady, mindful attention. Abundance, whether in the form of financial prosperity or personal growth, does not appear suddenly. It emerges when the mind is prepared to recognize it and when the environment supports its arrival. Ultimately, a lighter mind allows for wiser decisions because it is free from the clutter of unnecessary fear, doubt, and distraction. By honoring corners and placing objects with intention, the individual nurtures the conditions for abundance to enter naturally. The corner becomes a reminder that care and mindfulness in small spaces create ripples in the larger life experience. Energy that flows freely in the home reflects energy that flows freely in the mind. When clarity is present, wealth follows not by force but as a natural response to awareness, order, and thoughtful action. The lesson is that abundance is not just external, it is the mirror of a mind that is attentive, balanced, and ready to receive. True abundance comes from inner harmony when the mind is aligned and peaceful. Even small actions can open the door to lasting prosperity. True abundance does not arrive as a storm or a sudden windfall. It comes quietly, like morning light spilling gently across a room. Those who seek wealth through frantic effort or endless striving often find themselves exhausted, restless, and frustrated, as though chasing a shadow that always moves just out of reach. The mind, weighed down by worry and fear, struggles to perceive opportunity. It is in this context that simple acts of intention, subtle gestures of awareness, can create profound shifts. By placing a clove of garlic in a corner of the home, one is engaging in more than a symbolic act. One is cultivating a space that is receptive, harmonious, and aligned with the natural flow of energy. The corner, once overlooked, becomes a point of focus, a mirror reflecting the clarity and attention of the mind itself. When the garlic rests quietly in its place, it represents patience, protection, and purification. It is a reminder that true wealth is not about accumulation through force, but about opening channels for energy to move freely. Just as a blocked pathway slows movement, neglected corners in a home and neglected thoughts in the mind create resistance. Stagnant energy weighs upon the spirit, clouding judgment and obscuring potential. By acknowledging these spaces, cleaning them and infusing them with intention, one creates an environment that encourages clarity, balance, and receptivity. This subtle practice teaches that abundance favors those who prepare the conditions for it to arrive rather than those who attempt to grasp it blindly. The presence of the garlic also serves as a teacher of mindfulness. It quietly asks the observer to notice the overlooked, to honor what is simple yet essential. Life's abundance is rarely dramatic. It comes in forms that are often modest, easy to miss if the mind is distracted. Awareness allows one to recognize opportunities that others overlook. It allows one to act wisely and patiently, rather than reacting out of fear or haste. The garlic embodies this principle, quietly influencing the space around it while teaching the importance of steady observation, care, and respect for even the smallest details. Furthermore, the act of placing and tending to the garlic fosters a sense of connection between the inner and outer world. When a space is cared for, the mind mirrors that order. When attention is given to neglected corners, thoughts that have been dormant or ignored also come into focus. This alignment between environment and consciousness is subtle but powerful, creating conditions in which abundance, whether in wealth, insight, or opportunity, can manifest naturally. It is not the garlic itself that attracts wealth, it is the preparation, the intention, and the heightened awareness it inspires. Ultimately, true abundance is a reflection of harmony within and around oneself. By placing a clove of garlic in a corner, one signals readiness to receive, respect for energy, and openness to life's subtle movements. Wealth, like sunlight, enters most fully when the space it enters is clear, prepared, and welcoming. The corner in the home, once overlooked, becomes a symbol of mindfulness, intention, and readiness. And as the mind aligns with this clarity, even small actions lead to significant results. Abundance flows naturally to those who cultivate awareness, patience, and balance, demonstrating that the truest wealth is born not from force but from harmony.